Okay, good evening everybody. My name is Mark Lee. I'm the Technical Manager with BCD Engineering. We're a process engineering company based in Charleville in North Cork. I have a general presentation about BCD and the work that we do and the range of people involved in the company, and myself and my colleague Thomas will be available afterwards to go through any specifics with anybody who may have specific questions. So BCD, the letters actually stand for Brewery, Chemical and Dairy, but as you'll see, the company has diversified into a number of other areas in its existence. So the overview of the company, I'll go through some vessels and modular skid services, which is a main area of what we do. And I have a number of images of various projects that we've completed that will just give you a feel for what BCD is all about. So the company was established in 1983. Charleville has a very strong heritage in the manufacture of process equipment. It goes back to the Golden Vale Creamery base. Kerry Group now run a large cheese factory making the cheese strings that you might be familiar with in Charleville. But from that stem back in the 1930s, 1940s, a number of process engineering companies have grown from there, and BCD is one of those. So BCD was established in 1983. We currently have about 200 staff. We are specifically involved in the process design and in the provision of equipment for the pharmaceutical, biotech, energy, food and beverage industries. So we design, build and commission process vessels and skid equipment. A skid is a term used for a combination of process equipment, typically involving a vessel, heat exchangers, pumps and so on. Combined together to form a functional unit. So as I say, the main thrust of the business and the mainstay of the business since 1983 has been the manufacture of process vessels. So we have one of the largest workshops in the country. We can manufacture vessels up to 300,000 litre. You may be familiar with some of the large fermenter vessels that are involved with the manufacture of Ulmer's cider in Clonmel, and BCD would have manufactured a number of those units. We also do very small specialist equipment. These units over here are mobile, pharmaceutical, high polished equipment that are used in the biotech industry. So you typically find in food and beverage and dairy industry tends to be larger batches, larger tanks, whereas in the more specialist pharmaceutical biotech it tends to be much smaller vessels, but smaller batch sizes, but more specialist. So on the modular process systems side, such equipment as product formulation systems, where you're combining a number of different processes to formulate products. Sterile filtration, cleaning equipment, filtration skids, bioeffluent treatment, and so on. So we also are involved in site installation. So once the equipment is manufactured in the workshop in Charleville, it is transported to site and installed. We also have a passivation team. Passivation is a chemical treatment that is undertaken after a facility is installed, and it ensures that the corrosive or the anti-corrosion properties of the equipment are assured. We also get involved in commissioning, training, service and maintenance. So that would be where we would send a team of engineers and commissioning staff to go to a site and actually get the equipment running, do IQ and OQ, which would be installation qualification and operational qualification of the equipment, and you provide a very formal validated documentation trail for the equipment that you install. So the company structure is made up of approximately 40 engineers. Our engineers are ranged from process engineers, which I'm a graduate of the process engineering degree here. We have mechanical engineers from CIT and UL predominantly. We also have electrical engineers, we have automation guys, and we also have estimation and business development technical staff. We also have a procurement team, operational leads, administrative such as the accounts and wages and so on. The technicians would involve the fitters and welders who would actually manufacture the equipment. And then we have safety, quality control as well. So about 200, 210 employees. It does tend to fluctuate slightly as it is a project-based company. That's our head office in Charleville. So the company is made up of a number of groups. As I say, the engineering staff is probably the main focus of what you guys be interested in. So in terms of the clients and the industries that we serve, we would be working with 16 of the world's top 20 pharmaceutical companies. I guess being based in Ireland, you know, that's where the focus is, and I guess BCD have grown to be able to meet the exacting demands of the pharmaceutical industry. So by doing that, it means we can compete for work all over the world. So our clients include, as you see there, Abbott's, Novartis, Eli Lilly, Pfizer, Sanofi, some of the big names in pharmaceutical, and also in biotech and biologics. Currently our biggest project is for GSK Biologicals in Wavre in Belgium, where we're doing a buffer hold super skid system, which is approximately €7 million project, which is all being fabricated off-site in Charleville, tested by the client before it gets shipped to site in Belgium. On the food and beverage side, you'll be familiar with Coca-Cola. I'm sure a lot of the gang around here will be familiar with some of the ones up here. We also have clients such as PepsiCo and Nutricia. Nutricia are building one of the biggest baby food production facilities in Macroom at the moment, or in the world, in Macroom. Anyway, we also have a few clients on the environmental side. So as I say, the bases of clients, I suppose, predominantly the UK and Ireland. We have a number of sites in Europe, and we also have opened an office in Egypt. It's mainly a sales office, so all of the equipment would be manufactured here in Ireland, tested and then shipped out to site. So I just have a few images of different projects that we have completed, just to give you a feel for them. So this would actually be a biotechnology installation. It's the Centacor project, which is based in Ringaskiddy here in Cork. This is it in the workshop. It's a buffer hold system, which makes use of disposable technologies. And basically we had it prefabricated in the workshop. That's another image of the workshop. And eventually it was installed on site. We worked with PM, who we mentioned might be joining us this evening, as a consulting engineer on this particular project. And that's the unit actually installed in Ringaskiddy. So that gives you a feel for the work we do. So in terms of careers, I guess we're not quite as global as Accenture. We take on a number of graduates regularly. We take on experienced engineers in the various fields. While we're a projects organisation, it does tend to follow projects, so we ramp up and ramp down depending on specifics of the projects that are there at the moment. But as I say, it's process engineers mainly, we have and mechanical engineers. They'd be the two main ones that we would be focusing on. But we also have electrical automation, the environmental and the heat transfer specialists would be of interest also. So I guess if anybody has any specific interests in BCD, you can follow us, and we'd be very interested to talk to you outside. So thanks very much for your time. And,